Hello from Dallas and welcome to the H3 Leader podcast, where our intent is to provide a consistent drip of foundational and practical insight, motivation, and calls to action that will help us all to grow in the critical arena of leadership. John Maxwell makes the bold statement that everything rises and falls on leadership. If that's true, and from a particular perspective I believe it is, we probably ought to spend consistent time and energy on the subject. Today I want to share an origin story with you, the origin of the H3 Leader brand. Coming up right after this. We begin our story in 1979. I was in middle school and The Muppet movie had recently hit the big screen. It was fascinating to me. The Muppet Show on TV was a staple in our home, but there was something magical about their move into the movie theater. There was Kermit, sitting on a log playing a banjo, and then riding a bicycle. Like Pinocchio, he had come to life. Now, I wasn't naive. I knew it was movie magic, but still. I remember one night not being able to get to sleep. In my mind, I designed an entire Muppet performance with a constructed stage and everything in our front yard. My imagination took off. I didn't feel the need to create something from scratch. I was perfectly content to share something that already existed to a local audience of friends and family, to share my experience of joy and magic with others. It was going to be awesome. There was just one minor itty-bitty problem. It never came to be. This dream, something I was so excited about for that long, I couldn't put it down for a few nights straight. It never materialized. It never made it out of my head. That story came back to me almost 45 years later as I contemplated how to move forward in the age of personal branding. For someone who has been strongly conditioned against any form of self-promotion at all. From my first memory of parent-teacher conferences in the third grade, throughout my college ministry years, and even as an integral part of my adult spiritual formation journey, the concept of personal branding is a soul-level challenge. Rick Warren states it well in the first line of one of the best-selling books of all time. It's not about you. It's not about me. I'm thankful that KenStewart.com was not available in the early days of this adventure. That's the first place most people go to when they're walking down this road. With that route unavailable, I was forced to think of ways to approach personal branding from a different perspective. Out of the gate, I had to pick a business name. It is properly descriptive, but it only belongs on checks and legal documents. It's way too long for a URL. No cream seemed to be rising, so I moved forward in early business development under the established and professional Convene brand, one I greatly admire and that I'm proud to associate with. They gave me a landing page on their site, and I worked to leverage LinkedIn under my personal profile. This would have to be enough until the right thing came along. To be honest, I didn't even know what I was looking for. I just kept my heart and mind open in case an idea was to pop on the periphery. And thankfully it did. Convene came out with a resource a few years ago entitled How Leaders Grow, a collection of 7 articles written by Christian marketplace leaders. This publication contained a graphic that sparked the nucleus of an idea within me. A graphic that beautifully represented the idea of a learning ecosystem for Christian leaders. The connecting lines between this image and the H3 Leader brand got a little fuzzy through the COVID years, but a seed had been planted. I love the word ecosystem. I use it whenever I explain Convene to others because it represents the entirety, the complexity, and the completeness of a designed system. I love the emphasis on health and growth represented by the flourishing tree in the center of this graphic. I love the diversity of inputs into the leader's development journey, recognizing that it's far more than simply reading a book or attending the occasional seminar. These thoughts began to percolate in my spirit as I continued to lean into business development exclusively under the Convene moniker. But as much as I love what we're doing to build Convene, particularly here in the Midwest region and in my Central Illinois backyard, there was more stirring within me. There was a growing desire to serve leadership teams. The teams of my Convene members came to mind first, but once I had the material developed, why would I not offer it to others? I had a growing desire to speak publicly. For some reason, God chose to gift me with the ability to stand on a stage with minimal anxiety. I do it practically every week as I serve my church. I've been on a stage in one form or another since 5th grade. Why would I not steward this gift and serve leaders in the professional space? I have a growing desire to encourage and challenge high-level leaders beyond my work with Convene. Again, I absolutely love what we do in the Convene space. But as many of you know, our Convene work focuses almost exclusively on the senior leader, Christian business owners, presidents, CEOs, and other C-suite leaders. We're about as niched or niched as niched comes. How might I offer my executive coaching services beyond that thin slice as opportunities present themselves? I also have a growing desire to provide online digital content in the leadership development space. Again, how might I leverage material I'm already producing and the internet to serve more people in their development journey? This is an established methodology that is ripe with opportunity. These stirrings bubbling up within my spirit needed a home. They needed more than a landing page. They needed more than a parent, superbly niched brand. They needed their own space, their own look, and their own name. And using my name at the center of it just wasn't going to work for me. I needed a brand that represented my values, not my name. A brand that stood on its own, but was all mine. A brand that complemented, supported, and coordinated with my Convene practice, but at the same time allowed me to serve leaders on a broader scale. And I'll get into the details of what the H3 Leader brand is specifically about in future installments. Our goal today was simply to explain its origins, its broader purpose, and its synergy with my Convene practice. Do you recall my opening story about building a Muppet stage in my front lawn? It was a vibrant dream that gave me life, but it never once materialized. I was determined not to make that same mistake with the recent stirrings in my soul, and the H3 Leader brand was born. Thanks for taking a minute to learn about the beginning of the brand here in episode 1. As a reminder, episode 2 is going to talk about the importance of our tagline that every day is training day. In episode 3, we're going to count to 5 with an overview of the base context for all of our content in the H3 Leader ecosystem. Hopefully by the time we're through with these first 4 episodes, we will be ready to start showcasing the personal perspectives of others, particularly, again, with regard to those 3 core characteristics of the H3 Leader that we're going to introduce in episode 4. I hope you will consider joining us on this journey, a shared journey from here to there in the world of leadership development. Until we meet again, remember to always do something, anything, every single day to move the ball forward, because every day is training day. Blessings to you all, and we'll see you soon.